To a big political debate this evening. At what stage does General VK Singh, the Minister of State for External Affairs, become a liability for this government? We ask this because of his latest remarks when asked what the government could do after two Dalit children, both under the age of 3, were burnt alive in Faridabad on Delhi's outskirts. His response, truly bewildering.
कभी स्थानीय घटनाओं का सरकार से ताल्लुक मत रखिए। उसने पत्थर मार दिया कुत्ते के तो सरकार जिम्मेवार है।
Adding insult to injury, Union Minister General VK Singh shooting his mouth off yet again. Listen to his outrageous comment again.
उसने पत्थर मार दिया कुत्ते के तो सरकार जिम्मेवार है।
Using the dog analogy for the barbaric killing of 2 Dalit kids allegedly by the upper caste men. Comments that led to an outraged political reactions came thick and fast as also demands for his resignation.
Prime Minister, if he has even little courage of his conviction, must apologize to the nation on behalf of the party and VK Singh, and VK Singh ji should be immediately removed as a minister.
This is the arrogance of the upper caste, some particular brand of the upper caste arrogance. And clearly such a minister cannot remain in the central cabinet who is so casteist. He should be removed from the central cabinet.
This is your state of mind. This is what you think about downtrodden and Dalit and Mahadalits of this country. You are comparing them to dogs. This shows what kind of a mindset you have.
VK Singh's insensitive comments may make matters worse for his party in Bihar. BJP's ally Ram Vilas Paswan had yesterday laid the blame of the Dalit killing squarely at the Haryana government's doorstep.
हालांकि शेड्यूल कास्ट शेड्यूल ट्राइब्स का जो है हम लोग कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोटेक्शंस है, लेकिन जो पूरा का पूरा मामला है राज्य सरकार का है।
उसने पत्थर मार दिया कुत्ते के तो सरकार जिम्मेवार है।
Faced with mounting criticism, VK Singh vented his ire once again at his favourite whipping horse, the journalists.
अब आप ये अलग सेंटेंस को पुरानी बात के साथ जोड़कर कहो कि जनरल साहब ने दलितों को कुत्ता बोल दिया, तो मैं तो कहता हूँ उस पत्रकार को लानत।
Clearly a prostitute déjà vu. How about exercising some restraint and sensitivity in the first place, Mr. Minister? Meanwhile, in Faridabad, a day after he backed out of coming to meet the family, the Chief Minister, Mr. Khattar, finally visited the victim's family. He was too seen dodging questions.
मेरी हर पल की हर क्षण की नजर इस घटना पर है। जो लोग हैं वो सब मेरे ब्याह पर ही यहाँ काम कर रहे हैं।
वीके सिंह ने आज बहुत ही एक कंट्रोवर्शियल स्टेटमेंट बोला है, आप क्या बोलना चाहेंगे उस पे?
मैं किसी की स्टेटमेंट का उत्तर देने के लिए तैयार हूँ।
Jitendra was too weak to answer any of our questions. The anger in the village refuses to die down. As soon as the Chief Minister left, villagers took out a protest march. Mr. Khattar may have come and gone, but that hasn't placated the villagers here. They are holding this little discourse session here to debate their next move. Certainly a volatile situation still, even though the police have arrested 7 more people in the matter and 500 policemen are at vigil here in this village. While a senior member of the family accused of the crime defended his family, also alleging parties were playing politics, the family has locked their homes and left.
जितेंद्र लड़ाई में नहीं था।
नहीं था। जितेंद्र जी जिनके बच्चे मरे वो नहीं थे लड़ाई में।
वो उस लड़ाई में नहीं थे 1 साल पहले की में। जब उन जिनके जुम्मा आरोप लगा रहे हैं, जब ये लड़ाई में नहीं था तो उन्होंने इसका नाम नहीं लिखवाया और इससे छोटे जो 2 भाई लड़ाई में थे उनका नाम लिखवा दिया। तो जब उन्होंने इसको मुलजिम नहीं बनाया तो आज इसके घर में वो इसे जलाने क्यों जाते? मुझे तो लगता है ये नेता ही जो हैं ये दलित सुरन बना रहे हैं।
Data available with the National Crimes Bureau says that there has been a 7-fold increase in attacks on Dalits in Haryana in the last 15 years. Will the 2 kids also end up being a statistic as the politics keeps raging on this horrible tragedy? With camperson Stephen and Avdesh, Bihar Singh, NDTV.
And if we hadn't heard enough of that horrific tragedy, 2 children, both under the age of 3, siblings burnt alive when upper castes poured petrol onto their home. They got burnt alive apparently over a ridiculous fight in Faridabad, apparently over a mobile phone. involving their parents and somebody else. Now we have a minister, a senior minister, Minister of State for External Affairs, a former army chief, making the remarks that he did, which you saw in that story. And I'll tell you what those remarks are. If a dog is stoned, is the government responsible? Now, it needs to be mentioned that General VK Singh in just the last little while has apologized, and he's apologized wholeheartedly for what he had to say. But I don't think the question necessarily changes. Has the general become a liability for this government? Joining us now to debate this, Professor Rakesh Sinha, the RSS ideologue, with me in the studio, Sudhindra Kulkarni, the columnist and author, Professor Kancha Elaya, the Dalit activist and writer, Ashutosh of the Aam Aadmi Party, Sanju Verma, the spokesperson of the BJP, and C.R. Keshavan of the Congress Party. Sudhindra Kulkarni, let me come to you first. The minister has now apologized, but if you go by the track record of the minister, he often apologizes. In the past, when he had his age row with the Supreme Court, the court said that he had scandalized the court by questioning its judgment. He then gave a wholehearted apology and he was let off. In this particular instance, he has apologized once again. But at what stage do you believe the BJP needs to feel that the general is a political liability?
No, the minister's words are crass, insensitive, shocking beyond words, and mere apology cannot put an end to this very sorry episode. 2 small children burnt alive. We do not really know the exact cause, but that apart, 2 Dalit children burnt alive in some kind of a dispute, and this is an occasion for all of us to introspect and see how our society puts an end to atrocities on Dalits. And a minister of the union government makes a statement that is completely insensitive. This is just not acceptable. You know, it's a case study of how a minister should not conduct himself.
Sanju Verma, would you like to respond?
Whether or not he is a liability for a party or not, he does not deserve to be a minister in the government of India.
Okay, very strong words over there. Sanju Verma, would you like to respond that General VK Singh doesn't deserve to be a minister?
Well, in response to your query and the diatribe of Mr. Sudhindra Kulkarni, I have one thing to say. Could Mr. VK Singh have used more discretion, because discretion is the better part of valor? Could he have used a better metaphor? Certainly so. At the same time, is this a case of too much ado about nothing? Yes, that indeed is true as well. And the reason I say this, sticking my neck out, is that you don't have to simply look at the letter. You also have to look at the spirit and the context in which a statement is made. And the context in this case was that too much of hullabaloo is being made of everything. You know, and let me make 1 or 2 specific remarks here. Where was Kalburgi murdered? In Karnataka. Where was Akhlaq murdered? In UP. Are these BJP ruled states? No. So is the center trying to deflect attention from the fact that it also has responsibility? No. But at the same time, state governments that are elected with huge majorities, can they shirk their responsibility? Certainly not.
Sanju,
and let me also point out to one more thing.
Sanju,
this whole outrage over
just
the
so that I understand what you're saying.
You know, Vishnu, let me complete.
I just want to understand what you have said. We've got time. Sanju, you've said a few things and I'll let you complete, but I want to understand what you're saying. Are you saying that it's okay for VK Singh to have made the remarks that he did? Is that essentially what you're saying?
Now, I have heard you. Please have the courtesy to give me an uninterrupted 30 seconds. I don't need more. I categorically started by giving a disclaimer that discretion is something that could have been used in this matter.
Why don't you condemn his remarks?
Particularly given the sensitivities involved. At the same time,
you're
Vishnu,
talking
can
about
I
discretion.
Complete, please?
Is this an issue of discretion, Sanju?
Look at the political discourse. Look at the political discourse in this country over the last 10 to 15 years where people have chosen to connive and remain silent. What did Ghulam Nabi Azad say?
Political
he said
discourse?
There is no need to have electricity in all villages.
Is this political discourse kosher?
Who will produce children?
Is VK Singh's
this
political
is the kind
discourse
of discourse
kosher?
that has ruled the political establishment. This is the political discourse that has ruled the political establishment over the last 10 years. And you know what Rahul Gandhi said? Rahul Gandhi said poverty is a state of mind.
Mr. VK Singh, Mr. Peshawar, please wait.
Who live below poverty line in India. Did you discuss that? Should Rahul Gandhi resign as the vice president? For sure, he is not getting elevated anytime soon by the looks of it. What does Mr. Kulkarni have to say about that? I am not justifying in totality Mr. VK Singh, but look at the political discourse.
You are justifying partially.
Yes, two wrongs
Are you justifying
right.
partially?
Equally, if you speak about one wrong and you choose to remain silent on the other, your selective outrage and selective connivance is unacceptable.
Does that, assuming that there is selective outrage, does anything justify these remarks? You seem to indicate that there is some justification. Ashutosh from the Aam Aadmi Party, is the Delhi government going to take legal action under the SC/ST Act against General VK Singh? I believe there was something to suggest that Arvind Kejriwal was considering that.
See, Vishnu, first let me tell you that these days I am very glad when I see BJP spokesperson speaking on the TV cameras, because every day they are making BJP government at the center very unpopular, because they use bizarre arguments. Did you hear what she has said? She has said not in totality.
Mr. Ashutosh, do you remember Gajendra Singh? Do you remember Gajendra Singh, Mr. Ashutosh?
Please don't interrupt.
Please be embarrassed of your own party.
I do not expect.
Gajendra Singh?
I do not expect any kind of civility from the BJP spokesperson, because they are in love of their voices.
Led by Arvind Kejriwal.
Vishnu,
one second.
I'll request you.
Sanju,
I'll request you.
Sanju, one second. Ashutosh, let me try and explain to Sanju. Let me try and explain to Sanju that there is no point, Sanju, in shouting or screaming. I promise you, you will get more than enough opportunity to answer. We are not running away. If you disagree with what Ashutosh has to say, you will get that opportunity, ma'am. You will get that opportunity, ma'am, to respond to him. But if you choose to just shout it out, then we won't get anywhere in this debate. So can I just request Ashutosh to make his point, and I will allow you, Sanju, to speak. There is enough time. 1 minute, Sanju. Sanju, Sanju, please wait. Nobody is misleading. Please let him speak, and then if you disagree with him, say so. Ashutosh, please go ahead.
I think the whole world has seen how the BJP spokesperson, they are reacting. When she was speaking, I did not interrupt. I want uninterrupted. I don't want to be disturbed by her so-called discretion. Vishnu, this is a very serious matter for the simple reason, because this involves and this shows the kind of ideology which BJP pursues. You have seen how Mr. Mahesh Sharma has reacted, how Sakshi Maharaj has reacted, how Sanjeev Balyan has reacted on the Dadri issue, how VK Singh has reacted on this particular issue, how Rijiju has reacted on the North Indian issues. Do you think there is a narrative in this? There is a design behind this. You know why General VK Singh has apologized? General VK Singh has apologized because it has a direct bearing in the Bihar elections. When Jitan Ram Majhi asked that VK Singh should have apologized, only then he apologized. Otherwise, he was sending all the journalists and the reporters to the Agra mental asylum. That's the level of.
We'll move. That and the prostitute remarks we'll get to later on. Of course, that word was not used on this occasion. But you make an important point, Ashutosh.
Secondly,
and I want to go across to Rakesh ji for that, sir. In Bihar, there's been a reaction to this. Just in the last little while, Ashutosh referred to it. Key ally of the BJP, Jitin Ram Manjhi, he's criticized VK Singh, General VK Singh, called him feudal, said that there is no criticism enough of these remarks. The Prime Minister should intervene. Jitin Ram Manjhi is crucial to the Dalit and the Mahadalit vote in Bihar. So that was my first question. Is he therefore a political liability to the BJP?
Vishnu, there are two things. One is integrity of the person and other is expression. I don't question, I won't like that anyone should question the integrity of VK Singh. As far as a politician VK Singh, I consider that his statement was really condemnable. He should not have made such a statement. This is wrong to make such a statement. You are holding an important position. Second important aspect is that there is an expression deficit in our politics. You just go to 50s and 60s, the kind of dialogue, and I am giving the example. There was tendency, the unity of opposites.
Yes.
And the best example of unity of opposites is Deen Dayal Upadhyay was a Jansangh leader. He was not a parliamentarian even. He was not a big leader.
No.
He was a Jansangh leader. He wrote a political diary. Who wrote the preface? Sampurnanand, a Congress leader from Uttar Pradesh, close associate of Jawaharlal Nehru, wrote the preface of political diary in which he criticized Jawaharlal Nehru. So there was a tendency of unity of opposites which is lacking in politics. Aam Aadmi Party will blame BJP, BJP will blame Congress, Congress will blame BJP. This is not the solution. You are debating a larger issue, not only BK Singh. I think his intention is not wrong. What he was meant, what he was meant, he was not attacking Dalit or as a caste. He meant that anything happens any part of the globe, you just go to Narendra Modi and central government. Here, and other thing, last point I am making.
Vishnu,
Look, this question of Haryana incident, I see that in Haryana, 3 things are responsible for such incidents. One is feudalism. Second, caste compartmentalization between Dalits and non-Dalits in Haryana,
yes,
which has increased for the last 1 decade during Hooda regime.
And the third point that you said?
Third point is chronic capitalism.
Okay.
Haryana is the best example of chronic capitalism.
All right. You've made
things.
lots of points, sir. I think C.R. Keshavar wants to respond to him. The point which really struck me, which Rakesh ji was trying to make, is that, look, let's not take his context. Let's accept the fact that this is the man who's not necessarily wrong in his stature. These contexts, the remarks that he made were wrong. Is that good enough?
He is a repeat offender, but before I begin, Vishnu, today the BJP is exposed and stands morally bankrupt, so if they don't have a defense, I don't want to be interrupted. This crude casteist remark by VK Singh is not only shameful, it's inhumane. And it is not just unbecoming of a minister, it's unbecoming of any rights thinking citizen. And it is unpardonable and unforgivable, and it's not an insult to the Dalit community alone. It's an insult to you, me, and the entire nation. And I'll tell you one thing, this is not a faux pas. This is not an inadvertent statement. He's a repeat offender. And this is basically echoing a very regressive, oppressive, anti-Dalit mindset. And it's also a reflection of the ideology of intolerance prevailing in the country. Rakesh ji was talking about the Prime Minister and everything going to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister should be sensitive, but how will he be sensitive? He's a man who used a puppy analogy when it came to Gujarat riot victims. How can we expect him to sack this minister and take action? Let me complete, please. The important part here is this. I don't want to be interrupted. The important part here is this. He has called the fourth estate prostitutes. Nothing happened. Then today he said a reporter should be sent to a mental asylum. What kind of a minister are you having in the central cabinet?
He's slamming the media is one thing, calling us prostitutes is one thing. Quite frankly, they are not journalists who are necessarily that hurt. Let's focus on the issue.
Let me ask you a question.
Vishnu, let's focus on the
issue is simple, Vishnu. I'll tell you the issue. The issue is this. This is not an ad hoc statement. It is a Jekyll and Hyde pattern of the BJP, where the Prime Minister talks about development that is hate ventriloquism, where these purveyors of hate go and vitiate the atmosphere with prejudice and hatred. And today that is why these 2.5-year-old child and a 11-year-old child who have been put on fire and who have died have been attacked directly by a shameless minister, and I think he ought to resign. The BJP
is Congress calling for the resignation of the minister. No, Rakesh ji, one quick remark before I go back to Sanju Verma.
In democracy, Congress has right to demand resignation, and Astos has right to demand his arrest. I don't go by that. I just say that considering his service as an army chief and his integrity, proven integrity, there should be benefit of doubt.
But integrity till the point where his entire case was thrown out by the Supreme Court.
While condemning the statement, I said that his purpose was to communicate. He is not a very articulated politician. He is not articulated politician. His expression is the army man.
He speaks extremely well. He's an extremely articulate man. How could he say that?
I'm ending my statement.
That's the wrong logic.
No, Ashutosh, just one sentence. His purpose was to communicate that anything happened any part of globe, whether it was the killing of a clerk or Kulburgi,
or in a sensitive situation like this,
why would you say this? We just blame Narendra. He should not have. I condemn it. While condemning it, and another thing, I hope that Ashutosh
Ashtosji's party, AAP party and Congress party, Sonia Gandhi will also issue a statement on the death of Prashant Pujari, killing of Prashant Pujari, and the AAP delegation will go to his home. They are selected, they are the people who are
what should be done to that is an important question. There should not be double standards, but let's take for the moment on this issue, Professor Kanchai Lai. I know you've been waiting very patiently. Let me come to you. I want to ask you a straightforward a legal question over here. We have a very strong SC/ST Act. There were political murmurings earlier in the day that there should be some sort of action against General VK Singh. Do you believe there is adequate ground over here on the basis of these remarks for action against the MOS External Affairs?
No, Vishnu, General VK Singh is an upper caste man, and the children who were killed were Dalits, untouchables historically, and the father and everybody is untouchable, we know that. Now, whether he is a minister or not, even as a human being, as a citizen, when an upper caste man compares Dalits with dog, naturally the SC/ST Atrocity Act has to reach him. And I don't know why SC/ST Commission is not yet registering a case against him. Once the case is registered, then we will have to see whether Narendra Modi keeps him in the cabinet or not once the case is registered against him. See, the second question is, I am really surprised and shocked as a citizen, as an activist, as a social reformer, what kind of argument RSS and BJP is building. On the one side they say that we are for change of the system, we are for removal of untouchability, but they are not going and protesting there, and their minister is saying they are equivalent to dogs. Now they are defending on the national TV channels, and today itself their Sarsanchalak talked about something about caste, this and that. But look at their face value, look at their ideological base. I think this does not work. Let him be first arrested.
Yeah, Sanju Verma, I'm coming to you next.
SC/ST Commission thing.